Everyone, it's your girl Lady Naomi. I'm here this week to do the Married to Medicine review. The girls get ready to go to the Bahamas, and Will Heavily and Mariah mend the relationship before the trip. Let's get started. So it starts out with Heavenly in her office, in her dental office. She's a dentist. She's a celebrity dentist. She has a lot of celebrity clients. So Tawanda Braxton, Toni Braxton and Tamar Braxton's sister is in there. She's getting the crown filled. She just went through a divorce. She's talking about, you know, men, and Heavenly's talking about, oh, I have a lot of doctors, single doctors I can hook you up with and stuff like that. I remember Tawanda, I first seen Tawanda about maybe 10 years ago. She was on this show called Starting Over. This is when Leanya Van Zandt, I think I'm saying her name right, was a life coach on that show. Look it up, guys. That's some tea right there, okay? I remember she was on that show. She was going through marital problems then, so she finally divorced the guy now, I guess. 10 years later, they would have did it then. She would have saved herself a lot of heartache and misery. But anyway, guys. So, Dr. Jackie and Curtis is in the park. They had a nice, Curtis brought a nice picnic, one of those big picnics that you bring to the park. They had a little date in the park. They had nice food and stuff like that. So he gave her this beautiful handwritten card, and it was a nice poem inside. It asked her, would she like to go to Paris with him again? And I guess that's where they first met, or one of their first big trips they met at. And she was very, very surprised that he knew, he spoke French very fluently. He knew the area very well, and, you know, and stuff like that. So at the end, basically, he said, well, can I have a hug? A brother went all out his way to do this and stuff like that. They also talked about counseling. They want to try to get counseling if they're going to try to make this work. And I think counseling is the right thing to do in this aspect, because I don't know if I will fully trust him. He's doing all the right things to get back in his graces. He seems very remorseful and everything, but I don't know, guys. I was always told as a child, once a cheater, always a cheater. Dr. Contessa and her husband Scott is on a date night. So Dr. Contessa is feeling very guilty because she doesn't spend enough time with her kids. She's feeling mommy guilt. I think that's what it's called, mommy guilt. You know, because she works so much, her husband works so much. And they're used to having a nanny now. Miss Renee, they fired Miss Renee. Miss Renee is not back on the show as of yet. And so they really don't have a nanny or someone to watch the kids right now. And she's ultimately feeling like she's not getting enough time with her kids. So we will see what happens in the future. He also said, well, you talk about quitting your job because we can't afford that. We bought this multi-million-dollar house a couple of years ago. We can't afford to live off one income, basically what he was saying. And she was like, maybe not now. And she was like, well, damn, Scott just gave me a dose of reality. You know what I mean? So it ended like that. But I understand she wants to spend more time with her kids. In the early years, the first 5 years of your kid's life, or I would say the first 10 years of your kid's life, is the most important. So I understand she wants to be more involved in her kid's life. So Cisa and Simone talk about this app, this kids app. I can't remember the damn name of the app, guys. I have it written down, so weird. So talk about the app, and she was really surprised like how into it Cecil is. And Cecil's friend come over. Cecil's friend, I guess, is a longtime friend. He has several businesses of his own. He's basically the brainchild behind this whole app, and this needed basically funders to help fund this app. Talk to Simone about it and kind of, you know, reassure her that everything's going to be good, you know, and also want her to be the face of the company. So they talked about pedophilia, you know, what happens, they're going to do a full background check on everybody to make sure ain't no pedophiles out there trying to molest kids and stuff like that. So that was great, and stuff like that. So I'm happy that Simone is on board, because it's best when you involve yourself in a big project like that, it's best that your significant other is on board with it too. You know what I mean, guys? So Toya and Eugene meet up at this restaurant. Now Toya's walking in and looking good. You know, I love Toya's body, honey. Toya got an over body. Her body is sitting. Her body is everything to me. She could do a couple of crunches. She could do a couple of sit-ups. But other than that, her body is sitting, guys, right? And so they're talking about, the real estate agent walks in and they're talking about their residence, their old residence, their first house. basically. It's like a mansion. They were renting for $3,000 a month for the last 3 years or 5 years or something like that. But the person that currently is renting it, I guess, is moving. They may be buying their own house outright or whatever. So now that's gonna be another $3,000 on Eugene a month, and he's a sole breadwinner in the family right now, other than the show money, the money they get from Bravo for the show. So he's the sole breadwinner in the house, and they're trying to sell the house. I guess they said the house was they brought it for $575,000. But now the market is down on the house, and I don't know if the area it's in, you know, sometimes areas go down the house, certain type of people move in the area, the property value goes down. So now it's like $50,000 less than what they originally brought it for. So if they sell it, they're gonna lose money on the house. So now they have to go back, they're going back and forth about selling it or keeping the house, basically. Quad and Miss Emily show up at a TV, it's basically like a news show, basically, but they do like a cooking segment. In Connecticut, they do something like that as well. So let me get this. Oh, okay, that's better. I had a little. Okay, so yeah, she's doing a cooking segment of this 11 Live show. It's called 11 Live. She's doing this cooking segment. She did really good now. Miss Quad can cook. Her cookbook is out. It's almost finished. I think it's finished. And she did really good. It's always good to look at Miss Quad's food. It looks very appealing and looks like I want to eat it. You know what I mean? Because they say you eat with your eyes first. But other than that, she did a really, really good job, guys, I must say, at the cooking segment. Miss Quad, she knows how to talk. She's very eloquent and stuff like that. Heavenly and Dr. Simone is dropping their kids off at school. Dr. Heavenly said to Dr. Simone, "Oh, your son is not funny looking anymore. I guess when he was a little kid, went to Dr. Heavenly to get his teeth done and stuff like that. And when he was a little younger, I think his name is Miles, is the youngest one. He looked a little funny, so she said he's not funny looking anymore, so they got to crack on that." And he agreed. He said, "Yeah, I kind of grew into my look and stuff like that." And so he kind of agreed with Heavenly. So Heavenly persuaded Simone, because Simone has a lot going on with the new app with her husband and everything, persuaded her to let her do the couples trip this year. Now, Simone normally does it. I think this is a horrible idea, mainly because Dr. Heavenly does not get along with Mariah. And she ultimately said, "Well, are you going to invite Mariah?" And she goes, Heavenly was like, "Well, I don't know." And I just think it's wrong, because like, if you have a couples trip, the show's about all of you guys. Like, how dare you, because you have a beef with somebody, not invite that person? It's not like you're paying for it. The show is paying for them to go. So it's like, why aren't you like inviting them to this trip, this annual trip that you have every year, that they do every year? I think that's really trifling. And Simone was like, "Well, are y'all gonna be able to settle y'all beefs between one another, even as she does go on a trip with everyone?" And she was like, Heavenly was like, "I don't know." I just think it's very petty, guys. I think Heavenly is very petty. So Cecil and his brother shows up to the event. It's the event day. They both are dressed really nicely. Everybody's showing up. Dr. Jackie walks in and talks about the note that her husband Curtis wrote for her. The love letter it was very beautifully written, I thought. And so some of the girls kind of in the back of their minds are thinking, I think she forgave him too soon and stuff like that. I mean, it's easy for us to say that on the outside looking in, but when you love somebody and you miss that person and they've been together a very, very long time, who the hell are us to say that she forgave him too soon? Or, you know, she's not missing her husband. What had they been together, 10, 15, 20 years? I mean, who are us to say that? You know, I think she has to take it at her own pace, and at her own pace, if she's ready for him to come back home. Who are us to judge her for that? You know what I mean? So I'm sorry, guys, I'm home now. I didn't have enough time to finish filming the first part, so I do it at home sometimes. I do the second half. I do the first page of my notes in the car. Sometimes I can do most of them in the car. I will be getting a ring light soon, guys, I know, and I will be getting my tripod and my camera. I know I need all that. I will be getting all that soon, so guys, stay tuned to that. It will be coming in the next couple of months. But anyway, yes, what gives them the right to judge her because of that? I'm happy that they're moving forward and they're trying to work things out. That's what marriages are. Good and bad, sickness and health, to death to us parts. Richer and poor, okay? That's what the vows say, guys. Not everybody understands what those vows mean, though. They can't comprehend them. So everybody's making, they're making a big speech. She talks about being the face of the company. Then Cecil gets up and makes a lovely speech. I thought he handled it very well. I thought he did a great job on the whole event, having everybody there and at the event. So Miss Quad shows up fashionably late. She was dressed to the nines. She looked very good. But she's always late to everything. I just think that she feels like everybody's supposed to be on her time, Miss Quad, okay? So she asked, what about sex offenders? And then they said they're going to be doing background checks. Cecil said that's a very good question. She asked the question because they're going to be doing background checks on everybody that uses the app, so which is a great idea, I thought. So everybody's sitting down drinking cocktails and stuff like that. So Heavenly's going back and forth about forgiveness, and many people are supposed to forgive people. A lot of people always want people to forgive them, but they don't know how to forgive others and stuff like that. And I'm just going back and forth. They're starting trouble, being messy as usual. And so her and Mariah kind of exchanged words a little bit. And Mariah walks away and said, you know what, I don't got time. I'm not kissing no more ass. I don't got time for this. So Mariah's leaving the event, okay, at this point. Heavenly quickly gets up and follows after Mariah. Maybe about 30 seconds after Mariah exits the building, she's downstairs waiting on her cab with her friend. Mariah brought a friend with her. Heavenly comes down and tries to extend. So Simone kind of talks to Heavenly and said, listen, the right thing to do is just come on, stop all this petty fight and invite her to the trip. We all can go and have fun. Mariah's a part of the group. Go down there and apologize. And Heavenly was like, you know, you're right. She's supposed to be working on being a Christian. And all this bitch, you know, she calls herself this big Christian, but she has the most strife going on the show, and she keeps stirring the pot with everybody else, and keeps the most strife going. But she's the one that professed to be this big Christian, like Phaedra Parks on Housewives of Atlanta. But anyway, she goes downstairs and she says, Mariah, I would like for you to come to the trip. She says, well, I'm glad you invited me because everybody else was invited, and I'm just now getting invited and stuff like that. So, and she was like, well, I just need to tell you, please leave my mother's name out your mouth. Don't mention my mother no more, and stuff like that. And Heavenly's like, well, when me and you get into argument, leave my husband out of it. Don't tell my husband to get me. He don't need to get me and stuff like that. So then they started fighting again, arguing and fighting again. They're going back and forth. Mariah was like, please, girl, whatever. Mariah tries, so they keep going back and forth, and I'm like, oh my God, reading each other down, reading each other fulfilled. So Heavenly calls her a bitch, and Mariah walks away and said, I don't fight with bears and beasts, honey. Still ass with that, baby, and walks away. Baby, when she said that, I died. Oh, I love Mariah because she knows how to throw subtle shade. Okay, that's what you call subtle shade. I love it. And she knows how to make an amazing exit. But anyway, guys, this is this week's Married to Medicine review. Like and share my videos, okay? And comment down below, all right? And this is your girl, Lady Naomi. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, and YouTube, okay? Bye-bye. Hope to hear from you soon. I'm going to get in the shower. I am exhausted. Worked the double today. Bye-bye.